good evening again. Kalispera says, 8 o'clock, we're here again with a new face. And this face, you're going to hear about it for quite a bit of time. It's Mr. Rob Ahearn. Welcome to Hellenic TV.
Thank you very much.
In Faces.
Very pleased to be here.
And I like just to, say it's my pleasure to have you here because you are a part of the community now.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes. I'm very proud to be part of the community too. They've made me feel very welcome, which is lovely.
I'm sure about that. I mean, I've seen a couple of meetings that you were and I was there, and people like you, and then the reason we're here is because we want to talk about the school, the new school.
Yes.
St.Andrew
The Apostle.
St.Andrew The Apostle. Apostolos Andreas, as we say.
That's right,
yes.
That's right.
So, it started already, yes?
Yes, last Wednesday was the first day for students, and we were all very excited leading up to that. We had 4 days of training for staff to make sure that everything would be in place. Just about everything in place, although we've had a few little teething problems in making sure that the building is absolutely finished. But the building was absolutely fine to move into. We had to make sure it was safe, first of all, and then we had to make sure that we could offer the best lessons. We didn't want to be offering anything that was not up to the highest standard. So we made very certain that before we opened, everything would be in place. And although there are still a few things, as I say, to finish off for the builders, generally speaking, the building has worked very well for the students. But the best thing for me has been to see the students enjoying their lessons. Yes.
Do you mind if I ask you to give us a little bit information about yourself? You're born in London?
Yes, I was born in London, that's right.
Do you have an Irish background?
Yes, so my great-grandparents were originally from Ireland, and I've never been to Ireland myself,
Never been
but that's where the name comes from, which is a name that some people find quite difficult to spell.
I might be spelling wrong, don't worry about it.
Don't worry, that's all right.
It's a fanatic spelling for me, to be able to pronounce it right.
So I was brought up in London and then moved down to Essex and then down to Surrey eventually with my father's job. And yes, I went to Godalming Grammar School down in Surrey, which was a lovely school to go to, and then went on to Sheffield University and studied economics at Sheffield University. And I really enjoyed that. And when I finished my economics degree, I felt it was important to actually see some more of the world. So I applied for a job teaching out in Africa and spent 2 years teaching in Africa.
Okay.
So that was my first experience of teaching.
Was it a good experience?
Oh, wonderful experience. And I believe that that's one of the reasons why I enjoy being with different people from different cultures.
Exactly, yes.
Living in a completely different country, having to find out about all different customs and different ideas, as well as learning some language and teaching in French. Okay. So it was quite an experience.
Okay. And before you get this high job as a headmaster of the school, you were in Essex, yes?
I was in Surrey, that's right.
The
Winston Churchill School in Surrey, which is a very large secondary school, a sports college, about 1,560 students, so quite a big school. And I was deputy head teacher there for about 7 years. Yes.
7 years.
Yes.
How you find out about this school, the new school?
I discovered the head teacher position through the Russell Education Trust. Because they advertised for the head teacher's position. And so I applied to actually join the school because I did feel that I wanted to work in a faith school, a church school.
Yes.
And I hadn't really considered the Greek Orthodox school because I didn't know it existed. And when I found out, I did a little bit more research to find out about the Greek Orthodox Church, and I thought there's nothing here that wouldn't actually appeal to me. It was really very exciting. And I felt that my own Christian faith wouldn't actually have any problems fitting in with the Greek Orthodox faith and worshipping together and praying together and leading the school. And so far, I've been made to feel very, very welcome by the church.
Okay. So, actually, you've been working with governors for about how long? 1 year now?
Well, no, I started really in May.
In May?
Yeah, so a few months, about 6 months, I suppose, yeah.
And you were looking for the suitable place for school on this?
Yes, well, the site for the school was already arranged, really, when I joined, because originally people were looking at Trent Park as a possible venue for the school, and that didn't work out because it wasn't actually as suitable as people felt, particularly in terms of safety. And that's when the Russell Education Trust discovered the North London Business Park and felt that it would make a very good venue for the school.
Okay, so what is actual program? I mean, give us information about what are the students going to be learning in the school.
Well, it's a free school because any new school that starts now, any new British school now is a free school, which means that you don't have to follow the national curriculum.
You don't have to, but
no, you can adapt the curriculum the way you want to. But in actual fact, in the school with the Russell Education Trust, we believe there's a lot of good things in the national curriculum you wouldn't want to lose. And the important thing is to actually teach probably within the national curriculum, but also to include some things that maybe actually make it special. So what we've decided is to have classics within the curriculum as well. So to teach the children some Latin. We believe that's very important for them in terms of language development, but also in terms of thinking about future professions and careers. A lot of professions like the medical profession, legal profession, depend on Latin for many of their terms, etc. So if you've actually learnt some Latin, it gives you a step forward ahead of everybody else. And often that's what independent schools do, is to teach people Latin, preparing them for a very good future. So Latin and classics, and also learning about the roots of democracy. So Greece comes in very important, doesn't it, in terms of the roots of democracy?
When democracy born.
Absolutely, absolutely. And making sure that children understand how important that is, but also how important they understand too about their own culture, their own heritage. And I think that's very important, people understand their own identity. So we've been looking at that at the school and thinking, how can we make sure that fits? So we have the curriculum, as I say, with classics, but we're also teaching Greek language in after-school clubs, advanced Greek language and beginners.
Do the children have to choose the Greek language if they want to? Or?
That's optional.
It's optional,
and what we don't want to do either is to conflict with any of the Saturday schools which are so successful. We want to complement the Saturday schools, the Greek schools. We believe that they do a great job in terms of, again, helping people to understand their heritage and their language and developing the language, and we want to support that.
Definitely, yes. What are other activities you're going to include, you know?
Well, it's great fun actually to think, if you start with a blank sheet of paper, what sort of things would you do as after-school activities? And one of the things we want to make sure is that people feel encouraged to be there after school. So school will finish at 3 o'clock, and that's 6 lessons. And then what we call the after-school activities is lesson 7. So we're giving them the idea that we expect them to be there, which is great, and most of them have been there. So, for example, tonight they did a science technology club, and they were learning about sort of different things to do with developing scientific ideas, exploring how they might do some research to actually develop new products and something like that. So they were having a good time there, having a good discussion with the staff. We also had Greek lessons today as well, which was very exciting. That was the first time we had the Greek lessons after school. Later in the week, we'll be having a fencing club. We've actually got an external coach, a qualified fencing coach, coming in to do the fencing, and using safe materials first of all, before they move on to the real swords, etc. And then we've also got things like sports clubs, English debating, and also a dance club as well on Fridays after school.
The dance club, including Greek dance, I suppose.
The dance club,
Zorba.
Well,
Obviously.
the dance club is a Greek dance teacher, and she's very keen to do whatever dancing the children would like to do, boys and girls. Because I've noticed when I've been to different events that for Greek dancing, the boys really get involved, which is lovely to see. And we've said to the children in school, we would like to see you getting involved, boys and girls, in the dance, in the same way that when we do sports clubs, we don't want that just to be for the boys, we want the girls to get involved in the sports clubs as well.
Are the parents getting involved in these activities? I mean, can they join and, you know, help in any way?
As time progresses, in the next couple of weeks, we will be launching the Friends of St. Andrew, which is the way in which we'll encourage parents and teachers to work together to actually make sure the school is successful. We'll also be asking the parents to nominate other parents to be parent governors. And we will elect 2 parent governors, and they will represent the parents on the governing body. And again, that's very important that we have the parent views and we understand what the parents would like to see in the school. And one of the things that I've really appreciated and really enjoyed over the last few months is the way in which parents will pick up the phone, ring me, talk to me about things, express their concerns, but also be very constructive and very positive about how they would like to see the school develop, which helps me to understand what they would like to see.
How much involvement the Archbishop has in this?
The Archbishop was instrumental, as you know, in terms of actually putting things together to make sure we could have a Greek Orthodox school. The Archbishop and the Bishop have been very helpful to me. I've worked very closely with them and trying to find out exactly how we should actually develop the school so that there is a strong Christian ethos in the school, and also that people can understand more about their own faith if they're Greek Orthodox, or explore different faiths in the school. And it's important to think of the school not as an exclusive school for Greek Orthodox children, but an inclusive school where anybody is welcome, but obviously 50% of the places in the school are prioritised for children from the Greek Orthodox origins. And that's very important.
Definitely. What's the percentage of Greek kids in a school?
In the first year, it's the vast majority. I would say probably 80–85% of the children probably are from Greek families. And that's to be expected in the first year, because obviously that's why the school was launched, to actually provide a school where the Greek community could feel that there was a school for their children to participate and actually be valued. And that's very important. But as time progresses, I think we'll see next year that we will be oversubscribed next year. I'm very certain of that because of the amount of interest that people have expressed. And I think as people see the high standards in the school and the way in which the children are enjoying their education, I think a lot of other people outside of the Greek community will want to be part of the school.
What are their, future programs you have? I mean, to come very soon.
What in terms of what the activities we'll be doing, or more in terms of the actual buildings and developing the building further?
Yes. What is your program? I mean, building wise, any other,
Well, what we hope, that the building there has been refurbished now, and that will last us, we think, about 2.5 years. While that is going on, we will be working to design and develop the new building, which we hope will be at the front of the same site. And that new building will be a purpose-built school with purpose-built sports hall and all the best facilities in terms of art, music, drama, etc. And making sure that we have all the best facilities to enable the students to develop. So by then the children in the school will be years 7, 8 and 9. They will move into the new building. And then we will actually go on to develop a sixth form as well in that school.
So this year is the first year. All the kids are going to the second year next year, and you're looking for new kids.
Well, that's right. So each year the new year will come in, but the fantastic thing for the students who've joined us in the first year is that they will always be the oldest students in the school as they move up the school. And so what we're trying to do is make sure that they are taught about leadership and responsibility. It's important that they see that whatever they think, the other children when they come will look up to them as role models. So we need to help them develop that idea. Even now from day one, we're talking about the fact that they are going to be leaders and they need to take responsibility with us, and we will train them to be leaders. And that's going to be great for them, because not only will they be leaders in the school, but I think it will also help them to develop those skills for future life.
Well, it's nice to know everything about the development of this program and all this kind of thing. Would you have any special message to send to our viewers?
Well, first of all, I'd just like to thank the community for the support they've given me. I've been made to feel very welcome, and people have actually helped me to fit in and to settle in very well, which is lovely. The second thing I'd like to say is that we look forward to seeing many more students next year, and being a very successful school, seeing those students come into the school. We hope that many people from the Greek community and from the wider community will apply for places in the school, because we believe that already we are demonstrating that the school is going to be a wonderful school. The number of parents who are saying to me now, we are so pleased that we actually chose St.Andrew the Apostle. Our daughter, our son, they're coming home from school, they're smiling, they're beaming, they've had such a good time at school and they can't wait to be there tomorrow. And that's a wonderful position to be in, to hear people talking about their children's education like that. That's why we're in education, to make sure that we can give the best. So please do continue to support us, continue to give us your backing, and I'm sure we will make it a very successful school in Barnet.
Okay, so for the ones, the parents, they have kids to join, what do they have to do? How they can go about it?
So for admissions for next year, it's very important. The easiest way to apply for a place next year is to actually, first of all, come to our open evening on the 7th of October. Come and see the school. We'll do a tour of the school for prospective parents so they can see around the 7th of October, Monday evening.
Excuse me, yes.
That's all right, on the website. And also to come and visit the school during those 2 weeks following. They can book a place in the school to come and do a tour of the school during the day and see the children at work. Then they will see how the lessons are run and how the teachers work, how the children are responding. And then they apply for a place in the school through the normal admissions procedures for the local authority where they live.
Would you like to give the website? I mean,
yes, so it's www.standrewtheapostle.org.uk.
Lovely. Mr. Ahearn, it's been a pleasure to have you here, and we learn more about the school. And now I hope parents who are planning, for their kids for a new school next year, they can come to you, and I'm sure they're going to find the best, and as you say, the plan is there, and everything is working in a proper order, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much indeed.
And again, once more, welcome to the community.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you for your time.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
That's it. Another phase, you know what I mean? And Mr. Rob Ahearn.
Ahearn, that's right.
That's right. The head teacher of St.Andrew The Apostle. From me, good night. We see you next week again at the same time, 8 o'clock, with a new face or faces. Till then, look after yourselves. Good night.